In this video, you're going to add the up and down icons when you sort elements by name. So the end result is going to look like this. So when you sort in the ascending order, you get the up arrow, and when you sort in the descending order, you see the down arrow. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, before we write our code, we will make a few changes to this code right here. So at the moment, we are selecting the elements of ID name, but later on, we will need to do the same thing for the elements of ID size and the elements of ID time, which refers to the last modified header. Now, a good idea would be to delegate the click event to the parent of these elements. They all have the same parent, which is the table row inside the table header. So what we can do, we can go to our templates file, give this row an ID. So let's call it table head row. And then we're going to use the concept of event delegation. So the way it works is as following. We are going to select the element of ID table head row. And then we're going to add the event listener to this element. So the event is going to be click. And then we're going to have our callback. So in the callback, we're going to have a parameter event. So we're going to need this parameter later. So the function to execute is going to be as following. So now when the user clicks on any of these elements, we will trigger the click event on the parents. And then we will need to know which of these elements has been clicked, right? So here comes the event target. So event.target is a property of the event object, which will tell us which of these elements has been clicked. All right. So first of all, you need to check if there is actually an event target. So if event target, meaning that this is not undefined, then we're going to write some code. Now, to execute the code corresponding to the name header, you can just check that the ID of this element is name. So if event target.id equals name, then you execute this code, which you wrote earlier. So now let's delete this. Make sure that our code is still working. That's great. So you can see that we are sorting the elements successfully. All right, now let's add icons when we sort the elements in the ascending or descending order. So let's start with the ascending order and add an icon here. So what you need to do, you need to go to this element and add to its inner HTML an icon. So for now, let's just start with some text. And see what we get. And here you go. So you can see that we added some text there. Now let's add a real icon by going to ionicons.com and look for up or up arrow. So that's the arrow I'm going to use. So let's copy that. And let's also copy the down arrow and use it right there. So let's try our code. So now it is actually working, but the icon is actually hidden because it's using the same color as the background color of the header. So what we can do, we can go to our styling sheet and make a quick change there. So we set the icons to be of that color. So what we can do, we can restrict this to the table body only. So we're going to select Ion icons inside table body only. So now if I save and try again, so this time we can see our icons. So they are repeated because we don't clear the icons before adding new ones. So let's fix that. So at the top of our function, we're going to clear the icons like this. So let's select all elements with tag Ion icon, and then use the remove method of jQuery. That's really an easy one. So let's try this. And perfect, this is working as we want it. So let's add a space before the icon to make things better. That's good. Alright, in the next video, you're going to create the same functionality you built for the name sorting to size and last modified.